Throughout history, there have been many devastating plagues that have wiped out millions of people. But what if I told you that these plagues were actually a cover for something more sinister? What if there was a secret plot to depopulate the world and those in power were using disease as a weapon? In this video, we will explore the dark conspiracy theories surrounding 3 of the deadliest plagues in history and uncover the truth behind them. The Black Death. The Black Death is one of the most well-known plagues in history. Killing an estimated 25 million people in Europe alone, the plague was caused by a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, which is still around today. But how did the plague start, and why? Some believe that the Black Death was no accident. Instead, it was a deliberate plot to kill off the majority of Europe's population. This theory is based on the fact that the plague seemed to appear out of nowhere and spread rapidly across the continent. There are even rumors that the plague was spread intentionally through poisoned wells, and that the wealthy elite knew about the plague before it hit and took steps to protect themselves. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it makes sense considering the chaos that followed the plague. With so many people dead, the survivors were able to take advantage of the new opportunities that arose. Land was redistributed, labor shortages led to higher wages, and the power of the Catholic Church was greatly diminished. The Great Plague of London. The Great Plague of London killed an estimated 100,000 people, or 25% of the city's population. It is believed that the plague arrived in London through infected rats that came in on ships from Asia, but some believe that the plague was brought to London intentionally by spies from France as an act of revenge. This theory is based on the fact that there was a war between England and France at the time, and that the plague only affected London and not the rest of England. However, this theory is unlikely, considering the chaos that would have ensued had the French spies been caught. Additionally, there were several other outbreaks of the plague in England after the Great Plague of London, and unlikely that the plague was brought to the city on purpose. The Antonine Plague. The Antonine Plague was a smallpox outbreak that occurred in the Roman Empire in the 2nd century AD. It is believed that the disease was brought to Rome through infected soldiers who had returned from the East. But some believe that the plague was spread deliberately by Rome's enemies as an act of biological warfare. This theory is based on the fact that the plague seemed to appear suddenly and spread quickly throughout the empire. Additionally, there were several outbreaks of smallpox in the years following the Antonine Plague, leading some to believe that the disease was intentionally spread by Rome's enemies. However, there's no concrete evidence to support this theory. And it is possible that the Antonine Plague was simply a natural outbreak of smallpox that occurred due to the close proximity of people in the Roman Empire. While these conspiracy theories are interesting to consider, it's important to remember that they are just that, theories. There is no concrete evidence that any of these plagues were spread intentionally. It's much more likely that they were simply unlucky outbreaks of deadly diseases that occurred over the course of human history. But what do you think? Could there be something more sinister behind these deadly plagues? Or are they simply unlucky events that we can learn from and move on from? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about similar topics, I highly recommend checking out my other videos on historical conspiracies and mysterious events. With that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.